Hello, my name's Alistair Brudet, and I'd like to welcome you to the Nutrition Academy's 7-day program of Wellnes. This is an internet program whereby once you've signed up, you get lessons on a daily basis for 7 days to help you bring about change in your life. I've been in the health business for 30 years. I started as a psychotherapist, and then this evolved into hypnotherapy because the techniques, the psychotherapeutic techniques we had been taught, I found was not getting the results that I was looking for. Hypnosis made this a bit better, but still something was lacking. So in 1986, I embarked on a really exciting journey to learn more, to find out more, to gain more tools, to make me a better and more efficient practitioner. These included homeopathy, kinesiology, to which I use quite considerably to this day, primary cause analysis. This was working with people who were the victims of sexual abuse, and that was quite tough work. And it was around that time that I met Dr. Harry Howell. Dr. Howell at that time was conducting a lecture on the dangers of electromagnetic fields at the lovely Regent's College in London, and from there I learned that he was opening a college of holistic medicine called Howell College in where he came from in beautiful Dorset, and I embarked and studied holistic medicine there in 1988. This was a fantastic and a very interesting journey. At the end of it, I came to the conclusion that really the mind did control the body and it wasn't the other way around. But I had learned a huge amount, and part of that course included clinical nutrition. And it's with that knowledge that I come to you and offer you these tips, these changes that hopefully can make a big impact on your life. In 1992, I opened my first practice in Dublin. It was a two-sided affair. On one side, I focused and concentrated on emotional healing. This included psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, NLP, and timeline therapy, which is a very effective way of using an NLP-related procedure to clear stuff. On the other side, we looked at holistic medicine more in keeping with my training at the Howell College. Natural Solutions in Monkstown was a very special place. Not only was it a place, of course, to work in, but it was also a place to introduce new ideas, to have workshops, to be a place of change and fulfillment for the people who came there. So that was very special, and one of those people was Mary Fanning, and she introduced me to Reiki. From Reiki I went to Hawaii because I was really interested in this Hawaiian huna, and studied huna there on the Big Island with Tat James. And it was from there that I first heard about the wonderful meridian therapies, the Callahan points to be precise. Went on, stumbled into a workshop in Dublin run by Tam Llewellyn, and that was my introduction to EFT. That took me to America with some work with Gary Craig, the founder of EFT. From there, I went on to become the administrator of the Irish Association for Meridian Energy Therapies. This looked not only at EFT, but TAT with Tappas Fleming, BSFF with Larry Nims, and my own contribution to this was Ambit, of which I write about in my book Full Circle. I was then invited by Today's Therapist magazine to be an advisor on their roadshows up and down the UK, introducing people to new therapies. In 2005, I came here to Thailand and then to Koh Samui, where I have been and worked as a wellness consultant in 2 of the detox resorts. Welcome to the Nutrition Academy's 7-day course. Now let me tell you a little bit more about it, and I do hope that you'll be able to sign up. It's not an academic exercise, it's an interactive journey. We take you there and we give you the steps and you do them. To some people it will be quite simple, and to others it will be life-changing. There is no harm in finding this simple. We're Perhaps we all know many of these points, but reinforcement does no harm. It's not about knowing. It's about finding the path that will bring about change in your life. For instance, in day one, we look at two things that I think are really very important. One of them is breathing. Many people breathe improperly. They breathe stressfully, they breathe up here in the upper chest. Now, breathing and deep breathing brings oxygen to the blood. Hemoglobin, the blood cells glow red. It's when we have a poor circulation that they become bluish. Another very important part about breathing is the fact that it's a switch. Too many people spend too much of their time stressed. And we look at something called the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system has two parts, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is known as flight and fight. It's stimulated, it's turned on, it's switched on, if you like, by the adrenal glands. When we perceive a threat, we do one of two things. We either run away from it or we hide from it. This is flight or fight, fear or anger, if you prefer. Many people out there are going through flight and fight 5 or 6 times a day. It was never designed for this. Flight or fight is a leftover from our ancestral or ancient past, where we were living in the jungle with fierce animals that were constantly preying or likely to attack us. So we were then in a position that when we were challenged by a roving mad tiger, that we either ran away from it or we climbed a tree and hid, or we fought it. And in order to do that, the adrenals switched on, and adrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine flooded the system, and this enabled us to make changes in the body. We became stronger, for instance. Blood no longer circulated in surface capillary, it went into deep muscle, so we could run fast. Ali was a British-trained Iranian physician who was imprisoned during Ayatollah Khomeini's regime in the notorious Evin prison in Tehran. He was under sentence of death. As a doctor, he practiced medicine in the hospital. He helped his fellow prisoners. He had no medicines. The only thing he had was water. And to his surprise, he found that many conditions responded so well to water. For instance, so many people reach for an analgesic when they get a headache. Instead, very often a headache is a sign of dehydration. Many of us are dehydrated. Instead, drink some water. Very often the headache will disappear as a result of it, but many more complex issues also responded to water. Pain was another one of them. And thanks to his work there, the authorities in Iran pardoned him, and he was able to leave Iran and go to America, where he got a post at Philadelphia University and went on to write a book about all of this called The Body's Many Cries for Water. And so we also emphasize the importance of drinking water in the course. So how does the course work? Well, very simply, each day in your email you will receive the day's program. And the program is in 2 parts. The first part is a review of the previous day. So this reinforces the material that you've already seen. And the second part of the course is new material, new stuff. We introduce 1 or 2 new things to do on a daily basis. It's 7 days in length, so it's not forever. It's free, so why not have a go? And for those who think that some of these suggestions are beneath them, there is another alternative. Dr. Haas wrote a very interesting book called The New Detox Diet, and in it he talks about snack. Snack is an anagram almost for the following. S stands for sugar. So we cut out sugar for 1 week, not for the rest of your life, for 1 week. It's amazing how much sugar is in everything, and sugar is really one of the worst things that you can have. It acidifies you, it ages you, it causes blood sugar problems. It's really bad news. So the second one, N, is for nicotine. So if you smoke, stop smoking for a week. A is alcohol. If you drink, stop drinking for a week. C is caffeine. Cut out caffeine for a week. Okay, caffeine is in coffee, but it's also in cola drinks, and it's in tea. And finally, the final C stands for chemicals. Amazing how many chemicals are available, particularly in pre-processed food. So stop buying processed food for a week. Also look at the cosmetics that you apply to your skin. Many of these include very harmful chemicals like propyl alcohol, which are definitely poisonous and which again have to be disposed of by the body, by the liver in particular. So that's it. I hope you can join us, because you might find that this changes your life. Thanks for listening.